up, YouTube? It is I am me, Yasha23. I hope this camera can actually see. I hope it can. We just in hopes that it can. Because if not, we're stuck with it. But, so, today, I wanted to make a quick video because I'm really passionate about understandings and perspectives of the astrological breakup of the 7 planets and the 7 chakras and the 7 days of the week, and how it plays and ties into actually manifesting the desires that you want. You know what I'm saying? So that's very necessary on today. I want to discuss manifestation in terms of the chakras. I want to discuss the 5th dimension. I just want to get into some things. I want to discuss the planets and its relativeness, and also how to properly at least understand us as people in terms of the planetary alignments, at least on the surface. So in terms of the chakras, right? In terms of the chakras, of course, we understand that there are 7 chakras. Of course, there are 7 vibrations as well. But what I wanted to discuss was, of the 7, okay, beginning at the root in terms of manifestation. Now, typically what takes place and how it takes place in terms of the process we'll discuss as well. But the root being I am, okay, the root chakra being in the state of being I am. That is the beginning, grounded, structured state of any perspective or concept. I am the beginning phase. Okay, so in terms of manifestation, I am is the most powerful word, 2 words, in terms of procreating with the universe. I am the root, the beginning, the groundedness, the bottom, is, in terms of manifestation, the most powerful synopsis. So we understand the I am in terms of manifestation. I am beautiful, I am brilliant, I am, whatever. So we understand that. So when we go to the sacral and we go from a state of being, existing, manifesting from being, as in manifesting from, in terms of space and time, manifesting not from a futuristic point, but manifesting from and procreating with the now moment, creating the futuristic point. So being would really begin here. I am. So this would typically look sort of like that in terms of when the chakras and manifestation is in pure full alignment. So I am begins in the being, in the consciousness of the existence of mental concept, because I am is also symbolic for the ram. I am, ram, Aries, ram. Now, interestingly enough, the ram of God is mentioned 29 times in the Hebrew Bible. So, or in the English Bible, excuse me, not the Hebrew Bible. But so that plays into a very interesting fact about the I am, and in terms of the head, the beginning, the cerebellum, the cerebrum, the brain, that also, and as I've said before, the brain is also an extension of the spine. So in terms of this looking like this, this would be symbolic for the beginning, the brain, and this would be the extension throughout the spine. Okay? So, we begin at a phase of being, which we could consider as present tense and future tense at the same time. Boom. So we go to the sacral, which is the area of the pelvic area, right above the actual root. And when we get to I do, we notice that I do procreates differently because I do is an action. So the sacral chakra is ruled by the notion and the connotation of pure action, packed fact, movement, manifestation, manifest action. You feel me? Manifestation, manifest action. Same thing. So we go from there to we go to the action manifestation. So if I say I am wealthy, or we ain't even gonna use that. We're gonna use something that's completely more practical at this moment. Let's say I am going to become wealthy. Let's do that. I am going to become wealthy, right? That is the affirmation at I am and future tense, but in the present tense as well in terms of perspective. So the sacral, boom, the manifestation, action. I am going to become wealthy because I do believe. Well, okay, let's not do it like that. Let's say when we go from I am wealthy, okay, or I am going to become wealthy. The action, manifestation action that I do in that is I am going to become wealthy because I have the action to do so. I have the manifestation action. I am manifesting. I am also in action manifestation with the idea and the energetic responsibility of the I am going to an action. Now I am required to move. I am required to do. And the sacral chakra is that region. So to understand, now mind you, the root, of course, would be considered the head. The I do is considered to be the action, movement, energetic force field of pulling the thought down from the dimension of thought, energetic thought, into reality. You feel me? Boom. So we go to the solar, I feel. Now solar is also sun, solar, sun. You feel me? But feel, I feel, feelings, feel, I feel. So in terms of manifestation, if we're going from I am going to become wealthy because I have procreated with the universe to create certain opportunities. Now it becomes a little bit trickier and it's different with the solar, the sun, because we're into taking two elements of existence and putting a feeling with it. Okay? So, boom, I am going to become wealthy because I procreate with the universe and I feel as though I am already wealthy. So now the level of manifestation has amplified simultaneously because these three levels have now become a base. Because now we're halfway through the body. We're halfway through the cutting point, the cutting edge, where, you know, we're moving upward in terms of the manifestation, action, manifestation, manifest action, belief system, I am. So boom, we go to the heart. Now that's another perspective in terms of manifestation, because the I love is the heart. You feel me? So the I love, the heart. You go from 3 different perspectives in terms of manifestation, for which we have discussed. And now, not only does it become a feeling, but it becomes an emotion. I am going to become wealthy because I procreate with the universe, and I feel as though I'm already wealthy, and I love that feeling that I have in believing that I am going to become wealthy. Manifestation, manifest action. Boom. So we go now to the throat. Now this is interesting because all of these things have walked you into manifestation without as much as have said it, because now that you have put emotional energy into something, it has now become a doctrine, and you may say, speak as of then. So then we go to the third eye. Now the third eye, and I'm also going to discuss these planets and these perspectives as well, because I just want people to feel it. So the third eye, in terms of manifestation, now we said I am going to become wealthy because I procreate with the universe, and I feel as though I'm already wealthy, and I love that feeling of believing that I'm already wealthy. And so my affirmation is to now say as many times as I can possibly believe such a thing to say. So it has now become a responsibility to say so. So boom, we go from I'm going to become wealthy, because I procreate with the universe, I feel as though I'm already wealthy, I love that feeling, and I say in terms of affirmation, I am going to become wealthy. I am going to become wealthy. I am going to become wealthy. I'm going to become wealthy because I procreate with the universe, and I'm going to become wealthy because I feel as though I'm already wealthy, and I'm going to become wealthy because I love the feeling of as though I am already wealthy, and I am saying so as well. So now that we've put the throat, the vibration, because everybody has a different voice, vibrational speech, energy. You feel me? So when a person says, say, speak, that is emulating an actual vibration into the universe, for I don't know how many settings or frequencies as though it goes, but I do understand that sound has no ending. There is no end to sound as such as light. So boom. So we go from these levels of existence, and we go to the third eye, which is also visualization perspective. Is it Mercury retrograde or what? I don't know. So, boom. Now the responsibility becomes a different shift, because now I'm having to have not only had faith, but also put in works and feelings and emotions and a speech perspective into the universe. So now this thought has become a thing, and now we have to get extremely creative, because now we get an opportunity to use visualization and imagination. That was the word I was looking for. Now we get an opportunity to use visualization and imagination. So these levels of manifestation from previous points before was a cakewalk, because now we have to have not only have the ability to have sight into the concept of such a thing, But we're also going to have to use that sight to create that visualization. So in terms of visualization, we're going to walk through it, okay? I'm going to become wealthy because I procreate with the universe and I feel as though I'm already wealthy and I love that feeling. And I say on a continuum that I'm going to become wealthy, and I see myself within this wealth. I see myself having this wealth. I see. So these chakras and these levels of manifestation in terms of who we are, and we all have 7 chakras. If you're a breathing, natural, normal human being, actually we are souls having a human experience in terms of existence. But once and before, until you wake up to that notion, then can manifestation in the process be put into play in terms of concept, notion, and what we're going to talk about is I understand the crown chakra. Okay, so the crown, I understand. That is the structure for which the grounding is fixated upon. So that is the structure for which every individual is to strive towards in terms of manifestation. Because to understand something, or overstand something rather, you had to have been above and also things such beneath. Okay, so these are the thought patterns, feelings, and perspectives beneath this level of here. You feel me? But when I get to here as well, this thought is to understand all of the different procreations of everything else, all of the different energies that has been put forth. Now the energy goes sort of back to symbolism of the I am, because the I understand has to really seal and signify and solidify the I am going to. And when it has become an understanding, the line has been drawn. Period. Once something has become a structured belief system, understanding pattern in the individual, whether it be negative or positive, it is a sealed doctrine. Because that people feel as though that is the way. So racism, for an example, people understand that this is the way that they think. People think this way, and they understand within that realm of consciousness. You feel me? People feel and think and understand within a realm of consciousness. You feel me? So there is no way for an individual who simply just understands on this level, minute all everything else. If that's just a person who's understanding, like for another example, an individual who really has addiction problems, or who is kind of strung out on drugs, they understand that they do need help, but they also understand that they want to do what they want to do. That is a belief system, that is a reality, that is a structure. So when a person is grounded in I understand, and it is negative from the beginning, it's going to be very difficult to procreate positive from downward up. So when we talk about the root, now this chakra is also Mars. Okay, so Mars, in terms of the energy of the planet, is very, very a lot of war energy in terms of the root, a lot of chaotic energy, a lot of grounded energy, but a lot of battleistic belief systems and perspectives. I heard a term of somebody say every war that was ever started was probably started by Aries. So I wasn't gonna say that, but okay. So then we go to the sacral. So boom, when we talk about in terms of the sacral, we're talking about, let me make sure I'm correct, Venus. Now, Venus is the planet of femininity, the planet of beauty, the planet of cosmetics, the planet of just, but also action, the planet of movement also as well, and you know, the planet of a lot of Maya energy, cycle, the energy, the perspective, the feeling, the action, I do. So then we go to solar, okay? So solar, sun, you know what I mean? And the sun energy, the feeling, the lion, the I feel, the Le Corleone, is wherever your sun placement is in your chart, that's typically pretty much who you are. And with that, when you understand that, you can manifest how you feel about who you are, and then that can create how you would like to feel about who you are. But first, you have to understand how you feel about who you are. Okay? So then when we go to the heart, now the sun that's interesting, because the sun in that is also the heart, but the heart in terms of the actual chakra I love is the moon. And the moon is symbolic for the emotional space within your chart. You know, the moon is very, very feminine as well. Actually, it is the feminine energy, as the sun is the masculine energy. But the feminine energy in terms of fertility and love, because one thing that the universe did when it created man was it was fertile. And unconditional love is unconditional gravity, which is unconditional vibration. So when we love, when we understand how we love, we understand how our moon is set up, when we understand our moon sign and how our moon is structured around the emotional sector of what it is that we choose to love, okay, that level of perspective also creates differently with the I understand, okay? So, and we're talking in terms of getting to know oneself in terms of the actual chakras. I just make it simple. So, the throat. Now, this is Mercury energy, mercurial energy, okay? Now, the throat is the place where the vibration coming from the sacral is, from the sacral is from, from your sacral, from your inner, from your core. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to say it with your chest. You know what I mean? But the throat, in terms of understanding perspective about self, is to try to think and understand before one speaks. Now, that's not often in the human kind structure system, but that has been the impediment of the cycle of an individual's life becoming positive and or remaining negative based upon the level of manifestation as in speech, because now these thoughts and feelings and emotions has become a thing, because once you put it into the universe, that's why you have to be careful. have to be careful how your words, especially when you are gifted, you have to be careful how your words slanderizes others who are not as strong as you. Because you may very well pay for that. Because a lot of people's perspective cannot handle harsh speech. Especially if it's not coming from a emotional love space. So, especially when you're powerful, you have the ability to curse an individual with your speech and your perspective. So like parents, mothers, I had a mother, my mother was sort of tough on me growing up. For one, because I was the oldest, and then for two, because my father went to prison when I was very young. But growing up, we had we didn't really understand how to communicate in the neighborhoods and the communities for which we had come from. All we knew and really how to, in terms of speech and in terms of communication, in terms of expressing the I feel, in terms of communication, because when you're having communication with another person, it should be based upon not only facts, but the feeling and interpretation upon the body language and the energy that is bounced off between one individual amongst the next. So then we go to the third eye, and that is Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is a very very difficult father planet. Very difficult daddy energy, because depending upon where Saturn is in your chart, or where Saturn is in your chart, and where that placement is in your chart, it could be extremely blessed placement, or it can be extremely difficult placement, for which that is where you'll learn many of your life lessons, because this energy, this Saturn energy, is not no home. Okay, so a lot of people I notice that is went and how do I say this? Spirit, give me the way to say this, because I don't want no problem. In terms of the Saturnian energy and the third eye, the visualization, I see perspective. If you can keep all of these levels of alignment in some shape, form, or fashion with who you are, by what you do and how you feel and what you love and what you say, when we get to this Saturn energy, I noticed that a lot of people, is set apart in two categories in terms of that perspective, that energy. Okay, and a lot of people are set apart in two different categories because there are those who operate heavily within this region with that Saturn energy. Okay, I'm a Capricorn North Node, so my North Node is in visualization. So, and many other placements as well. But so, how others see themselves is also going to be in harmony with how they treat others. Disharmony with how an individual sees themselves based upon how they feel about themselves and how they love and the things they say to themselves in private. When it gets to the level of the visualization of how I see me in that mirror, that is indication of where I am in my level of ascension. By way of how I see myself. That's all. By way of how I see myself. It's the glasses for which I see life through. And it's also the notion and the perspective of which that I will see me through others and see others through. But then there's an opposition for which does not see anything in the universe outside themselves. In fact, they only see themselves in everything outside of themselves. So, you know, then there's that energy, which is also Saturnian energy. Because what is Saturn energy? Lust, greed, pride, addictions, over addictabilities, financial, capital, corporations, you know what I mean? So that energy is a very, very important perspective. And then in terms of the I understand, which would also be the crown, is my sun, Jupiter, Jupiter energy. Now, notice that this portion of this grid is the largest portion. Now, I don't know if that was did that way symbolically, but also Jupiter, because Jupiter is the biggest planet in it's the biggest planet in terms of this solar system, you know. Yeah, it's not the biggest constellation. That's different. These are planets. These are also stars. But in this solar system, this is the biggest constellation in terms of the 9 planets. So, Jupiter energy is the most expansive, the most expansive energy. It is, Wheel of Fortune. It is wealth. It is plenty. It is prosperous. It is, protection. It is Jupiter energy. I love my sun's energy. I love where my sun placement is. I love, the house it's in. I just love that placement, man. You know what I'm saying? Because now Sagittarius, people be thinking that Sagittarius don't be going through stuff because we don't really